Hi, I'm neimykanani, and in this video I'll be doing a tutorial of my Procreate brushes. And I'm sorry that it took a long time to make this video. These brushes I put out in 2021, and I've been receiving a lot of messages to make this tutorial, but I'm sorry that it took this long because I had to mentally prepare myself to make this. So before we start, I'm going to share my pressure settings. So when I draw very lightly, so I put the pressure sensitivity higher so it has like this arc shape. So everyone's pressure is different, so play with the settings. For me, this is the best setting for me. And this other one is not related to this brush tutorial, but I recommend enabling disable touch actions, because you know those like random marks you make on your canvas, you can disable that so your finger doesn't make random marks and it only applies to perform gestures like it says right here. And yeah, I'm telling you that because I never knew this until I did not know this for 5 years when I used Procreate. And when I found out, I was like, oh my god, I've been spending so much time erasing random marks. So I recommend turning that on. So I added some new brushes. So for those who purchased, you can download from the previous purchase through Gumroad or from the purchase email receipt. I think, well, there's some brushes that I haven't uploaded yet, so when I upload it, you'll probably get a notification that you can download. So when I made this brush, I wanted to make unique names so it's more fun to use these brushes, because if you just say round brush and like, oh, harder or softer, it's kind of boring. So I came up with random unique names for each of them. So let's start with the round brushes, starting from the top. T-spill and filling brush, I kind of use them to fill in areas that I want to add color. So just kind of like a big blocking brush. And the filling brush, it just has more pressures. So nothing really special there. And the reason why I have multiple round brushes is because Procreate doesn't have a flow adjustment like Photoshop, and I mainly adjust the flow of the brush than opacity, because to explain, imagine your Apple Pencil is a brush or ink, and flow is the amount of color it's putting out, and opacity is kind of like you're adding water to the paint and you're applying, so it just gets thinner. And flow is just the amount of ink that comes out of the pen. So that's why I made multiple different flows. So think like filling brush is 100%. Rose in the Garden is just slightly lower flow. Cloud is a little bit lower again. And then Angel, and then Mist is the least flowing brush. They all have similar pressure sensitivity. The brush that I like to use the most is Angel's Touch. It's just like the right amount of flow for me, and it's very nice to sketch with. Think of it like a hard round brush with some pressure. And I recently like to paint with blurrier edges, so I missed 2 more brushes, these two, and with less pressure, so it has like this soft round brush effect. So like when I want to paint the skin color, then it's like much easier to blend together. It has like a nice blur. The less pressure is just, it's harder edge, so it's not a soft round brush. So that's the 2 that I added. For the puddle brush, I have 2. This is the new one. I wanted, when I first made these brushes, I wanted to make a brush that kind of mixes, like blends together. The ugly color, so I'm gonna see that has like this streak between the paint. So I kind of wanted to make an effect that blends with the color next to it, so it has like a painting effect. The first version, it has like this, it's really hard to see. It just didn't have that effect. Like, see, it doesn't blend as much, and it has like this weird round edge that I didn't like. So I remade the brush so it has like this painting effect. The last round brush I have is called Blending Dreams, and think of it, it's like an airbrush. So this is also kind of like a round brush, but it flows much lower, so you can blend the edge, and it makes like this soft edge. So if I want to blend something, I use that as well. A lot of these brushes, when I made them, I wanted to make brushes that I will use, and it was difficult to find the perfect brush in Procreate, so I just made my own brushes. So next, the dry media brushes. Follow the White Rabbit is something I added later. Let's open new one, new layer. So I like to use Follow the White Rabbit for like sketching. And a lot of these brushes, so from here to here, these brushes, think of it like they're color pencil textures. So it's like using a pencil. And Follow the White Rabbit, it has these different pressure sensitivity. And after school and There's Always Time for Tea has less pressure, it's more consistent, so it has a more pencil-like effect. I'm gonna be drawing like same faces throughout, so it's gonna be a little boring to see me draw, but just kind of demonstrating. Before we move on, I wanted to share The round brushes I used, this is an example of what I used to use the round brush. It has a more softer effect, I guess. Today's really hot, so I'm like sweating. So see, it has like this color pencil effect. The difference of after school and nap time is it has like a more softer, so that's nap time, and this is, oh, you can't see one. This is nap time and this is after school. So it has like a more softer. So new brush, I made nap time darker. So it has very similar texture to after school. I think the spacing between the lines is different from compared to two. So I don't know what I'm drawing. I'm just gonna erase it. Yeah, so I made multiple brushes, so pick which one you like most, just the feeling of it. I just mostly use after school, follow the white rabbit. Recently, nap time darker. It has a really nice texture when you paint too, so I just like the chalkiness, like these little small spaces in between. So when you blend, there's still some like spacing you can see. Kind of like adding thin lines in between too. I sometimes like to switch between all of these brushes. This brush, it has much more spacing in negative spaces. So it has like a more dry texture. So it's harder to draw. So mostly just kind of like painting like a dry wall kind of feel. Going to the next brush is Midnight Circus. This is my favorite brush to use. I use this almost all the time in my drawing. I use it for sketching, I use it for drawing. So when you paint, it has like this kind of texture. I like the random particle effect it makes. So when I paint, I like using it as like a fill brush too. So when I fill in the color, and I like using the same brush for eraser as well. So let's say if this was black instead, you'll probably see it better. So when I erase with the edge, it gives a nice particle effect at the edge. An example drawing will be this drawing. If you can see the edge right here, it has a nice particle effect at the edge. So I used Midnight Circus, like see right here at the edge. I used Midnight Circus to shape the edge like this, like that. Then you can change the size and make it more refined. So Midnight Circus, Snowflake, and Burn, they're the same brush. It's just that Snowflake, it has a glow effect, so like linear dodge or add. So say right here, there's a color here. I use Snowflake. If I use the same color, then it gives a glow. If I add this a little at a time, it gives a nice glowing effect. So if you want to add shine to your drawing, you can use that. Burn is the opposite. It gives a multiply effect. And what's cool is if you use a dark color, you can like sketch with this like burning red color. I don't use it as much anymore, but I thought it was really cool, so I just made that brush. You can play with it. Chalk Nightmare is another different brush. It gives different textures when you tilt your brush and the amount of pressure you add. So it gives this effect. You can just press straight hard and it has like a box shape. The more harsher texture. Tilting and adding blush, something like that. So going next to the oil paint brushes. Queen favorite order. It has a dry oil paint. Same with Midnight Secret. It has a dry oil paint canvas texture. I was surprised that most people told me that their favorite brush was Haunted Porcelain Doll, this brush. I didn't think that people would like this brush as much, but yeah, I looked back at it and tried it again, and I realized how nice it was too. Like even though I made it, I didn't know how good the brush was. It's nice to sketch with it. And because this canvas brush, this Haunted Porcelain Doll, it has a consistent texture. You can see that they're consistent. So it gives a more realistic canvas texture. Right, like that. The amount of pressure you add, it gives a different hardness of the brush. When you paint over, it gives a nice effect right here. By the way, the keyboard I'm using is called this Aikido something. It's probably like just a number pad that's kind of designed for Procreate. I really like this because it's much faster. And this charge is really long. Like I bought this last year and I only charged it once and it's still going. So I don't know how the battery works. I put random stickers, and for example this button is the option key or something, just to what's it called again, the eyedropper. The eyedropper. So I just kind of like do this. They don't sell this design anymore. They have a new design which is more square and computer like. I like this design more because it's like round and cute. I wish companies make more cute stuff because they always make it more like manly. Because I like collecting girly stuff, so. Yeah, so you get the idea. Rumpelstiltskin's glowing straw is similar. It's a glowing brush. So, see, it gives a shine. I'm using the same color pink, and it gives a pink shine. So if you're lazy to pick a color, then this is just like a quick way to add glow effect. Going next to the inking brushes. I remember spending a lot of time making the ink brush because it's really hard to get it right. So little lamb I use for like small line work, so kind of like eyelashes, sometimes line work like that. And I mostly use it for, if you know my artwork, I add a lot of sparkles like this. It's random sparkles. Because it's precise, I like using this. Mad Hatter, it just has a different feeling when you draw with it. So this is Mad Hatter and Little Lamb. It has, you can tell that the beginning, it has a different starting design, and the design here is different. I personally like to use the Little Lamb more because it's easier to control personally. Angry Mad Hatter is similar. I mean, it's the same brush as Mad Hatter. Angry Mad Hatter, like use color, then it gets like a burn effect like that. So if you want to draw something with burning effect, then you can do that. And when you add color under it, it looks nice. Yeah, something like that. Going next to the splatter brushes, I'm going to make this canvas black so you can see. I'm going to use white. So starting with Dream Sand. I like to use this a lot. It has a nice particle effect. I like adding dust particles to my paintings. And like add like this, and you can use the eraser I'm using Midnight Circus probably. This, you can design the sparkles like that. So it kind of looks like mini stars. Nightlight also, it has like a star design. So it's different from the Dream Sand. Starlight, more noticeable star design in there, like that. And if you see like random similar shapes, then you can just erase it. So it has more natural feel. So something like that. Yeah, this, I was really happy that I was able to make these brushes because it's really difficult to find, and I like adding particles like this. These small particles. Sprinkles, I made this brush to add like freckles to like faces, and the rest are default brushes that I personally liked in Procreate. So if you have Procreate, you can find these brushes, but I just added them so to show which one I liked. Sometime I only use them sometime, but yeah. It's so hot. I'm dying here. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I didn't really script this video, so it's really all over the place, and it's like really hot right now. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. I wasn't planning on recording myself, so this is a really rare time that I'm recording.